Welcome to helicopter training. The helicopter squad is comprised of the logistics officer and the pilot. It is your job to work together to provide air support, transport, and supplies to your team across the battlefield. Let's start by getting in the pilot seat and turning the engine on. We are now airborne. Let's get familiar with the three primary helicopter rotations: pitch, roll, and yaw. Great job! Now, let's follow the course and hit all the checkpoints to get used to flying. Well done. Now, let's try landing in that field over there. Take your time. Adjust your forward and backward pitch to start hovering over the landing area. Then, slowly lower the collective to decrease altitude. Let's drop some supplies. Switch to the co-pilot seat and follow the controls on screen. The supplies we've just dropped can be used by the team to place garrisons and defenses. Let's return to the helipad to get some more supplies. Land the helicopter on a helipad and turn the engine off. You cannot gain the benefits of the helipad while the engine is on. Helipads have the function of resupplying the helicopter when it has run out of supplies, and repairing the helicopter if it is damaged, so it is important to utilize them as often as you need. Now that we're resupplied, let's move to the next location and drop more supplies. Now, let's redeploy next to a transport helicopter. Stationary helicopters on helipads in HQs can be used as a spawn point. The transport helicopter is used primarily to transport squads quickly across the battlefield. They are equipped with 2 machine guns and recon flares. Enter the co-pilot seat, where you will learn how to use the recon ability. The helicopter will now take off automatically and remain in a hover state. Fire the flare to detect enemies below. Well done. Now, open your tactical map and observe the flare radius and the enemy positions that have been detected. Now switch to a gunner seat and neutralize the nearby ground enemies. Successfully completed helicopter training.
Welcome to boat training. Listen to my instructions as we proceed through the course. Now enter the boat and start the engine. There are 3 seats in the boat: the driver, front gunner and rear gunner. To operate the boat and turn the engine on, you need to be in the driver's seat. Use the controls on screen and pilot the boat to the marked location. Nice job. Let's dock the boat here. Pull the boat up to the dock and switch the engine off. Now the engine is off, Both you and your team can spawn on the boat. On your tactical map, this is indicated by a green icon. Right, now follow the river upstream to the next move marker. Stop here for further orders. Turn the engine off to utilise the anchor and keep the boat stationary. Switch to a gunner seat, light up some targets and reload the weapon when you're empty. If you're facing return fire, duck to make yourself a smaller target. All right. Let's move on to supply drops. Head over to the next target marker. Time to drop the supplies. Move to the designated area and make the drop. These supplies can be used by officers to place down spawn structures, and engineers can use it to build resource nodes and defense structures. Now, drop the next set of supplies wherever you think is best. In a real combat scenario, choosing the right spot can make all the difference for your squad. Great job. Now, follow the river upstream, back to where you started. Observe close to the dock the resupply and repair stations. When within radius, any damage sustained to the boat will be repaired and replenished with ammunition and supplies. Now switch off the engine to complete your training.
Welcome to Mortar Training. The Mortar Squad is made up of the Observer, the Support, and the Gunner roles. You are the Gunner, a key role of your squad. You have access to a wrench and hammer you can use to build the mortar and defend. Let's start by building the mortar. The mortar is a powerful offensive weapon with a lot of range, but it's important you set it up in a good location where you're out of enemy sights and able to reach your targets. Now, let's redeploy as the observer where we can use the flare to scout for enemies for the squad. You are now the observer, leader of your squad. It's your job to locate enemies and provide effective communication and targets to your team. Let's locate some enemies. Equip your flare gun and aim towards the marker. Good job. Using your tactical map, you can see where the enemies are located. Now, let's enter the aimer seat. Here, you can line up the scope with the target and use the metric conversion chart to find the correct elevation. Another marker has come in for us to target. Let's readjust and keep going. Well done! You have successfully completed mortar training.